Welcome to Reviewed Gaming, where we give you our honest opinions on the latest and greatest video games out there. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our future videos. Now enough with the introductions, sit back, relax, and let's review. With the recently announced remake of Resident Evil 4 coming soon, we thought it was only right to review the most recent iteration of the game. That is Resident Evil 4 VR on the MetaQuest 2. Now, if you've never played the game before and are thinking of waiting for the remake, then you are missing out on one of the greatest games of all time. And not only that, it's fully playable in VR, and is something not to be missed. Welcome to
Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 redefined the series by completely overhauling everything you knew about Resident Evil so far. Gone have the classic 2D rendered set pieces and tank controls, and now you are introduced to the more modern, over-the-shoulder third-person camera with fully 3D rendered explorable areas, each with their own unique aesthetics to match. You play as Leon S. Kennedy, one of the original survivors of the Raccoon City outbreak. Now, working for the President of the United States, you receive intel telling you that someone who resembles the President's daughter has been spotted in a remote location somewhere in Europe, and it's up to you to go and investigate. This is where your mission begins. Without giving away too many spoilers for the game, the story of Resident Evil 4 takes place 6 years after the incident in Raccoon City, specifically the Resident Evil 2 game. And it's up to you to rescue the President's daughter Ashley from the new enemies that Resident Evil 4 introduces, the Ganados. These are the villagers of the local area, all of which have been injected with a parasite that takes control and possesses the host, causing them to become hostile and dangerous. The leader of the Ganados wants to do the same to Ashley and inject her with the same parasite as the villagers, and then send her back to America to cause chaos and destruction. So it's up to you to save Ashley and stop this from happening at any cost. Along your journey, you will meet up with a great cast of characters, both new and familiar, and in similar Resident Evil fashion, there are plenty of puzzles to solve, secrets to find, and hidden paths to explore. Let's get down to the gameplay. In short, Resident Evil 4 is an action-adventure horror, with exploration and small puzzles to solve, and whilst on your travels, you will come across many different enemy types that stand in your way, from regular villagers to gigantic trolls, and many, many more. Resident Evil 4 VR plays amazingly, from the way Leon handles, which I also have to mention has a plethora of comfort options to help you get the best experience possible, to the gunplay, being able to empty a clip, grab a new one, pop it in, and ready in the chamber feels great. But during a panic, this can become nerve-wracking, and you can find yourself scrambling around, forgetting where things are, and accidentally grabbing your grenade to somewhat mixed results. Every weapon feels unique, from the reloading and aiming to shooting, but you soon become accustomed to how each one handles and how best to use them during combat. But that's not everything. Leon is a fully kitted out operative, with everything from a handy knife to a grenade that can be quickly grabbed from his chest. Grenades are fun to use. Not only can they help you out in sticky situations, but grabbing one from your chest, pulling the pin and throwing them feels incredibly intuitive. And it's a game that needs to be experienced in person. Resident Evil 4 also introduced a whole new inventory system, which is heralded to be the best version of a storage system Resident Evil has done to date. This is due to being able to rearrange and organise your storage to exactly how you like, with the option later to expand your storage via an upgrade that can be purchased from another new addition to the franchise, the Merchant, who shows up in all sorts of random locations during your playthrough. As you progress through the story, you manage to find and rescue Ashley from where she was being held captive, and now you need to escort her to the nearest evacuation point to get her to safety as quickly as possible. This changes up the way the game is played during this time, by making you able to give certain commands to Ashley such as follow, stay and hide. And in the environment, there are certain places that Ashley can actually hide, keeping her safe during combat situations. I will mention here though, Ashley herself cannot attack the enemy, so you need to make sure you can keep her safe as much as possible. Because if she manages to get caught or even worse, it's game over, and you will start back at the last save you made. Playing Resident Evil 4 VR gives you a great sense of how large and open the world is that the developers created for the game. This also creates new and interesting ways for you to explore and take down the enemies. If you have already had the chance to play through Resident Evil 4 in flat screen mode, then you know just how much fun this game is. And don't worry if you think that the VR version takes away from the original in any way, you are mistaken. As if anything, this is the definitive way to play this game, with an immersion like never before. The developers completely remade the game from the ground up to ensure that you are not just getting a VR version, but a fully made for VR version. This guarantees you're getting the best experience possible. Exploring locations from the perspective of Leon is incredible, and you get to see the game in a whole new way. Being able to check each location you visit thoroughly helps you see enemies in the distance or items that you need. Checking around corners and peeking through windows to make sure it's safe makes this version of the game completely different to what you may have already experienced. As you progress through the game, you visit many different locations, each with their own unique look and feel. From the main village area to a church upon a hillside graveyard, and crossing a terrifying huge lake hiding dangers lurking below. Everything has been immaculately recreated for VR and looks stunning. Later in the game, the time of day starts to shift, gradually getting darker with frequent downpours. The atmosphere starts to change, and the enemies start to become stronger, and you take further into more creatures. There is so much I could say about this game. The experience is fun, scary and exhilarating from beginning to end. For a game that is over 15 years old, it still holds up as one of the best games in the series, and being able to play that all from the new perspective is amazing, especially if you've played this game when first released. You need to experience this. The game has so many amazing moments that I would love to show you, but I feel it would ruin the overall experience you will get the first time you play this. But I will show you some of the footage from the first boss that you encounter, giving you a brief look at what to expect. Now, the footage captured for this video does not represent how the game looks inside the Quest headset. This is something you will need to see for yourself, because as soon as you put on the headset, you are transported straight into the world of Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is a must-have title for any Quest 2 user, and was for me a title that made me want to invest in the Quest 2 itself. And I will say that I am not disappointed. I enjoyed and still do enjoy every single moment of this game, and I cannot wait to see what is new in the remake coming later next year. With that said, I hope you have enjoyed the video, and if you've made it this far, know that we love you here at Review Gaming. Subscribe to stay up to date with our future videos. Until next time.